There's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man, because this new idea of New Age feminism just basically destroys all men in the event of her leaving. If a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. If a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment. And then you have to add in the other hidden element, and the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? If women were saying, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? Get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami, I can fuck anything in the club, I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So let's all use our brains here. What am I gonna do?
Ooh, let me hop on that one.
Let me give context before you go into it.
Okay.
So he's saying that because the Britney girl, she didn't marry. She had a kid with an NBA player. She kind of like shacked up with him, had the kid. Now he has to pay her alimony or whatever it is. Like basically 90% of what he made, like I think he makes like $300K a month. He has to pay out like $200K a month to her every single month.
So let me hop on this one. So he's absolutely right. And if you look back at the origins of marriage in the Bible, it says the moment you have sex with a girl, you're pretty much married in God's eyes. Okay. And 100 years ago, women were only sleeping with people that would put a ring around their finger. So if a guy wants sex, which is every guy's just natural urge, he has to court a girl, meet the family has to approve, and then they get married after however long. The guy has to wait 3 years, and as a guy, that's a long time. And then he gets the chance to marry her, and then he is, he's put a lot into this. The girl feels safe. The girl has saved herself for him. He feels safe because, before birth control was a thing, before paternity test, every religion, everything in the past, marriage was linked to paternity. Whose kid is that? So if a girl was a virgin, the man felt safe that it was his kid. We don't have that nowadays. We just have paternity test, birth control. So now it's like, what is the incentive to get married for a guy? Legally and financially. Take love out of the equation. It's a business deal per the government.
I mean, to be honest, what is it? What's the upside? What upside is there besides making your partner happy?
See, every guy dreams of like getting married, having one girl down for him, but every guy's nightmare is he marries a girl and then he has a kid with her. She goes to divorce him. She takes half. He has to pay child support, and now he's paying alimony, and some other dude comes in the picture. And
typically there's a null and void with a dude in the picture, by the way. If they get married.
I think it depends on the state.
No, they have to get remarried.
Well,
alimony goes until they get remarried, or it's half the marriage. It's horrible.
Or they're living together.
I mean, to be totally honest, what is the upside of marriage at this point in time? Like, is there tax benefits? Like, why is there?
It's not that much.
So it's only for estate planning. So for your kid. So if you have kids, if you're married, it makes like probate 10 times easier.
Okay.
But let me ask this. She's, we have a good perspective here. What do you think the benefit for men is for marriage in 2022 in the United States of America?
So that's a really hard question because it depends on the marriage. Like, for example, I mean, I know, like, in the West, right, I've seen women walk out on the men, which is insane to me.
Nice.
So I think it depends on the marriage. For me, I think it's nice to have, like, a partner and a little bit of a cheerleader because men are big babies behind closed doors.
Pretty accurate.
And they do need that free therapy because they would never in their right minds admit that they need help and go to a therapist. So kind of just being there to, I don't know, give you support and love. I
hear you. I mean, I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but why do you need to have to marry them? Why can't we just be, boyfriend, girlfriend?
Is that a privilege that is only locked down to marriage? Is her protecting your spirit and being your cheerleader?
No, but I think that if you want to have kids in a healthy way with someone, then you do need to get married. And that's
absolutely
like
right.
On both ends, it needs to be harder to get out of it.
I do
legally.
Agree. I do agree.
100%, but I'm still waiting to hear what is the benefit for men in 2022 that would really say, oh, damn, that makes me just absolutely want to do it. And I'm just paraphrasing here. But I mean, there aren't a lot of, like, you take the benefits versus the risks, and it is not an equal playing field.
Well, I mean, the ultimate benefit of it back in the day, I mean, premarital sex ruined that, right? Because the ultimate benefit, most chicks were like, nope, not till we get married, not till we get married. And then nowadays, it's just getting thrown out left and right by every single girl. Not every single girl, but by most women, it's just getting thrown out left and right in this society. But
it's hard.
it used to be premarital sex. That was why men married women and the paternity thing.
Paternity.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay, dope. I sign half my life away and she can leave at any time. And, you know, not every girl's evil. Not every girl's going to do that to you. There are wonderful, beautiful women that will protect your spirit out there. But this needs to be a real thing in the back of some guy's head out there. Do I really want to and need to get married to this girl? Pick your quality of woman wisely, because you're stuck for life. So if she's not protecting your spirit before you get married, then good luck.
Dude, it plays in. She touched on this earlier, I think a few clips ago. She was talking about society pushing stuff like that. I mean, all you hear in rap songs these days is these female rappers saying, you know, get with him, take his money. Just every single song. That's all they're pushing. That's just like the new agenda to females, I guess.
It is.
And it's absolutely horrible. And you're not going to, no men are going to want to marry any women in the future if you keep pushing that bullshit.
The marriage rates are dropping. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a firm believer in marriage. But I mean, me and my business sense, my logical sense,
Your prenup better be.
what's stopping me? I don't even need a prenup. Why don't I go down to Mexico? Why don't I go to Dubai? Why don't I go somewhere else and have a real wedding under God? And I have a real marriage over there, and then just come back to the United States, and I have no legal problems.
Well,
and I have a real marriage.
There's a lot of people that say when you get married, you marry the United States as well. You marry the government, essentially.
No, you are. It's you, her, government.
I mean, I'm not too well versed on what they can get into, but I'm sure there's some stuff in there that benefits them as well.
The ideal scenario is just you and one girl have a wonderful, happy marriage. Nobody cheats. Nobody
in a perfect world.
And you guys just don't get divorced. That's the ideal scenario that everyone dreams of.
I don't think I would ever get married if there was even the slightest bit of question in my brain if anything were to go south, because I know like marriages get super toxic. You put your kids through the worst thing ever. Staying together in a toxic relationship without cheating even puts your kids through the worst thing ever. So I don't quite know what the benefits of a marriage is, but I think you would know, like,
I agree.
Whether or not it's worth taking that risk. Yeah. You'll find that person.
I hear you. My girl the other day said, we've been together for like a year and a half, 2 years. The other day, she's like, you know, by 6 months, you're supposed to know if you want to marry somebody. I almost like fell out of my chair, passed out.
That's
like, I
will 100%.
That's TikTok. That's TikTok.
No, I will attest to that. A man knows if he's going to want to marry you. I would arguably say less than 6 months.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
I think you can know there's like an inkling that you may want to be with her for longer, but I still think you have to be looking at every single thing for the next few years until you do.
Well, a guy knows if he wants a long-term relationship with a girl or a short-term. So if it's long-term, obviously it's marriage. If it's short-term, it's you're in the bedroom, you're not outside any other aspect of my life. So I would 100% agree with that and say within 6 months, a guy knows if he's going to want to put a ring around your finger.
Like if she's potentially material, then you still have to vet her up until that point.
100%. You know, my rule is 3 years. If we're not engaged after 3 years, we're not doing what I thought we were doing. And then for the women out there, if that man has been in a relationship with you for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years and you don't have a ring around your finger, you are settling and getting played.
Yeah, that's another thing like that I don't understand is. You know, you asked what are the benefits of marriage. I'm like, well, you get me. Because if there's no ring after a long period of time, then I'm walking. Like, that's the end of that.
You should.
Fair enough. 100%. You want to see? I don't know if we have any more. Let's see. Oh, no, that's it. That's all we got.
Okay. Well,
all right.
So let's get your opinion, because I know you have seen probably Andrew Tate for a very long time. After seeing these clips, which is realistically like, this is pretty much the Andrew Tate that we all see because we've been digesting his content for a very long time. We get to see the back end stuff. Now the agenda isn't to put him in a bad light, and you get to see everything that he does. You get to see the good clips, the bad clips, the medium clips. These are the things that you would never see 6 months ago. But this is what he was talking on every single day: protecting, providing. You know, as a man, be on your shit. You know, as a girl, you know, just don't be a 304. pretty easy.
Define 304.
304. Flip that upside down, and that's what you're going to get. Just turn your head upside down on the screen.
Calculator games.
Calculator games. So, can you describe to us what your opinion on Andrew Tate is right now after watching all of that?
I didn't really know a lot about Andrew Tate until EDC when Emma started bringing him up, and then you guys started kind of posting him more. So I kind of started checking out his stuff, which is literally the best marketing ever. Is when people are just talking about you, good publicity, bad publicity, whatever. It's all publicity. I think he's a very outspoken man, and I don't know how to professionally say this, but he definitely has BDE, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, you could. He's the top. His nickname's the Top G.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just knows
He's
how
the
to
man.
he knows how to articulate things in the perfect way to piss you off just enough to like him.
You know, he's like
Yeah.
he's a genius. Like his IQ is way ahead of the average person's.
I mean, put him up against any other public speaker, he's gonna shit on him. Besides maybe Jordan Peterson.
No, he's the top. He's the final boss.
Yeah.
But I mean, no. Andrew Tate was a professional chess championship player at like the age of like 8 years old, and his dad was like, his dad was well versed and spoke 6+ different languages. Worked for the CIA. Like everyone in his family is just like genetic freaks, mentally and physically.
Yeah, I think he is really unapologetic about his deliveries, which a lot of people can't handle. They don't like the harsh truth. They kind of wish they'd dance around a little bit more and be a little softer about it. And I'm not saying his delivery is correct, but what he's saying is pretty valuable, as a get in check, because I feel like a lot of people who are under earners like just label any woman that wants a guy that can support her as a gold digger. Mm-hmm. We've gotten into that because people have normalized under earning. So now every woman who wants support is a gold digger. And Andrew Tate's basically saying, F that. That's not, you guys should just maybe stop under earning.
That's a good perspective.
I've never looked at it.
No, she just red pilled us right now. That is a good perspective where, as a man, everybody tells you, no, don't be masculine, toxic masculinity. And my biggest argument has always been there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's just the absence of masculinity is toxic. Like you said, if somebody, busts through your door, you're going to call a big, strong man to protect you, usually. If your house burns down, you're going to call a big, strong firefighter. You're not going to call you're not going to call the small firefighter who believes in safe spaces and all this other stuff. But a girl that's asking for support and protection and provision is now labeled a gold digger.
Always.
And it's like, no, that's just your natural role.
Like
not to be a
you can't
gold digger.
win.
You're not just using a guy for his money. It's just like, if you submit to the right guy, trust him, his natural instinct is going to be to protect and provide for you. So if you offer any resistance to that, you're just making his life harder. Let him pay for the dinner. Let him pay the bills in the house. Don't give him any resistance to that. Let him do his job as a man. Don't emasculate him, okay? Let your guy hold the door open for you. Guys love doing that. Guys, if you're not doing that, get on that. Free game. Just let everyone play their role. 100% agree. She just red pilled us. I'm sorry.
She really did. Yeah, that's awesome. Basically what you just said would have been labeled toxic masculinity before Tate and all these other people
That's
came
toxic
along.
femininity when you're just telling a girl she's a gold digger for just trusting her man.
Everything's toxic until somebody stands up for it, right? Like the past few years, all that has been pushed is it's toxic this, toxic that. And now somebody's standing up and they don't fucking like it. They don't.
The narrative's changing though.
It is. He's doing a good job of starting to twist,
It is starting to twist.
flip it over.
Piers Morgan, all these other people are they're pushing Tate now. When was the last time you would have ever thought that Piers Morgan would be pushing Andrew Tate?
I don't know. I think it backfired and they just they didn't know what else to do. So might as well team up with him, I guess. Or might as well, his army's so big, let's just join him. It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah. And I feel like most people that are agreeing with him are on that track already. And the people that have a problem with it have no plans. And they think it's just fine to make their women work super hard and I have no problem with women working. I love working personally, but like basic needs, like I should have the option to work. I shouldn't, if I'm going to get married to someone, like it shouldn't have to be like I have to work to keep the bills on.
100%. So, you know, she hits the, you know, 100% accurate with what she just said. Men don't want their wives having to work 60-something plus hours a week.
They don't. It almost emasculates a man to have a woman who has to go out there and work her fucking ass off.
It makes him feel like crap because he's not doing his job.
I hope it does.
If you're a real man, it should emasculate you to know that your woman's out there working every single day, all hours, and she can't come home, take care of the kids, take care of you, do shit that a woman should do, other than, you know, spending her time in a fucking factory all day.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
100%.
I went into, it's been very eye-opening working where I work, because I went into someone's house the other day and they didn't have heat in their home, and they had a 30-something-year-old furnace. I'm like, you're probably going to want to like replace this. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm the only one who works. My husband doesn't work, and I'm putting my kid through college, and I'm only a caregiver. And I'm like, geez, lady, that's heavy.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
Leave that, man.
both sides of the story right there. Never settle. I mean, men and women, you shouldn't settle for less than you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on? I think we should round this out. Keep it short and sweet. Kind of rounded that out. All right. Well, do you want to shout out your social medias real quick so we can have that? We'll throw that at the beginning for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm at Sarah_serotonin, 2 N's.
All right.
Underscore.
You guys know me and Justin. We'll link her down below as well in case you can't spell that. And then, yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right, Jim.